Good morning, everyone. This is Alvaro Cortez Jr., aka Lance Danger, doing a rare morning live stream. It is a celebration. I'm all fancy this morning. I received my copies of the Cannon Girl Truthful Comics edition over the mail. I actually received it a few days ago, but I really didn't have the time to live stream, and I've just been a little bit too tired to do like the live streams that I usually do, like around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I just kind of compromised and took the opportunity that I have some time in the morning today to actually do the unboxing for that. As you can see, here we are. Very exciting stuff. I'm going to have to update that intro very soon. Hopefully, soon it's going to be available through Indie Planet. Not just this, but Project New Wave number 3 as well. There is an unboxing video for that too. I am going to be uploading that at the Truthful Comics YouTube channel pretty much after I finish doing this. Yes, they really tape this up really well. This is like Christmas, man. Alright. By the way, the live stream that I did a couple of weeks ago or last week, where I had to edit out like some sensitive information, is back up. Where I spoke about some Puerto Rican comics that I was looking forward to that had just been released that week or that month. I'm just making sure that I'm not going to do like on the other unboxing video I had done a while back and not show like sensitive information written. That's the good thing about doing these live streams. You keep learning as you go. The more you do them, they really secure this. Like they actually have tape on it inside as well. Okay, here you go. They use a Gemini mailer, very sturdy, very good, very evil, very nice. Right? And here is the Cannon Girl. Let's go ahead and because of course the invoice is in the package as well, and I want to avoid doxing myself. Alrighty. It's always so exciting for me to like get new comics, especially ones that you've made yourself. Okay. As usual, nice little bookmark. Random aside, I finally got my library card again after a few years of just not reissuing it. I had lost it moving from one apartment to the other a few years ago, and in the haste of all the moving around, I lost the card. And since I was at that moment in school, also at the School of Visual Arts, I was with their library, and it's mostly an art related library. So I pretty much stuck to the campus libraries. But now, yes, yesterday actually, I took out my library card again for the public library, and it feels so good to have a library card again. So I will be using these pretty often. Of course, it comes with a little flyer with all the some titles from Indie Planet. Here is the invoice for the copies I bought, and here she is. For the first time ever, the Cannon Girl is in print, and this is the first comic that I self-published that is not Warlord or Nevermind. So to me, this is like a big milestone. Go the Cannon Girl Truthful Comics edition. You only see me with your eyes. Here you can just like flip through it. Of course, there's some ads for Nevermind and Stupid the Cat. And you may be wondering why there isn't an ad for like Warlord or Project New Wave. And it's mainly because these are actually some of my favorite pages. Like the reason that I don't have like Warlord or Project New Wave promoted in this instead is because I kind of see like these mini comics kind of like its own separate thing. It's like the more indie within the indie studio, if that makes sense. Like if Warlord and Project New Wave were like Marvel, Disney, these mini comics are more like Miramax back in the day when Miramax was a part of Disney, where they would do like the more indie, more adult oriented stuff. So Project New Wave, to an extent, Warlord are kind of like the more quote unquote traditional mainstream superhero comics that appeals to a broader audience. And these smaller ones, these mini comics that I do, are usually more introspective. They're indie. It's kind of more like an art house experimental kind of feel to it. That's why the logo in the corner box is also relatively different from the Truthful Comics logo that's on Project New Wave and that will be on Fred Peterson, the Mighty Warlord Truthful Comics edition as well. That logo of Truthful Comics is going to be the same as the one on Project New Wave. So I just kind of wanted to, give it its own kind of like little identity to kind of have the things separate, although separate but equal kind of things. So here it is, the Cannon Girl. Really one of my favorite little side projects that I've done. It's always just so exciting for me to see a new comic that you've done just arrive. I'm getting my copy pretty soon. Also, a Project New Wave issue number 3, which I wrote for Manuel Carmona. Seeing these brings back a lot of memories because even though this is like the updated version, kind of like with Nevermind as well, where I redrew the whole thing from scratch because I had lost the original artwork and original pages of it. It's still essentially the same story, the same premise. Each strip is its own story. It's mostly kind of like a positive affirmation kind of thing. Contrary to Stupid the Cat, which came with like this interesting like mini comic attached to it in the middle from someone else, which was like some promotional thing I guess Kablam did. This one doesn't have it. So it's just all 100% Canon Girl. And it has a brand new cover. It's not the cover that was used for the web comic. Of course, the Kablam ad in the back, gotta save that dough, to make some dough or something or another. Speaking of Stupid the Cat, I am going to be doing a black and white edition of Stupid the Cat. There you go. So that it won't cost as much. Just for a mini comic. Online, I think it was like $4 or $5. I have to like double check that price. I know I have it written down somewhere, but and again, once this is available on Indie Planet, I will let you guys know as well as Project New Wave number 3. But understandably, there should be like a pretty big backlog of comics. It's actually $3, which is not too bad actually, consider all things considered. Let me just kind of share that. So yeah, Stupid the Cat is actually $3. and I usually sell these for $2, which I just kind of noticed that when it got printed, the price got cut off a little bit on the cover, but at least you kind of, I'll show it in a sec. It's kind of funny in a way. But yeah, I'm going to do a black and white edition of Stupid the Cat and have it be sold for $2 as well. Sometimes that dollar is what makes the difference, but if you buy it like the digital copy is still only $1, as you can see here. Digital copy only 99 cents. Let me actually look up Project New Wave so you guys can see what I was talking about with the logos of Truthful Comics. As you can see, issue number 3 is still not available just yet, but let's go ahead and click on issue number 2. I wish I could make this bigger. But anyway, this is kind of a nice size. Again, you can kind of see the difference between the logos. Let me just try and all right. Okay, that's pretty good, I guess. Like again, the logo on the corner are pretty different, even though like it has kind of like that shape on it. It's a little more streamlined, a little more simplistic, which I guess kind of fit the style of these mini comics that I do. Manuel is also going to, in the future, be experimenting with mini comics as well, which is pretty exciting. I've always been a proponent of mini comics and zines. This is just my indie heart, my indie soul speaks to me doing these, which is probably why I've been able to do something like Warlord and other more mainstream kind of comics like Paths for Silver Island and El Gran Matatan. I'm actually in talks with other creators to do some writing as well, which is more quote unquote mainstream than what I usually do with something like with Warlord, which of course is a superhero comic, but at the same time, there's so many other elements to it. The grand majority of the audience that reads Warlord usually tell me that that's the only superhero comic that they read because it almost doesn't feel like a superhero comic because there's a lot more characterization, a lot more dramatic elements to it, even a lot more romance elements in it. So, to a lot of readers, it feels more like a movie, kind of like an indie movie, or actually even more like manga than American comics, also, which is why I guess it has had that appeal and longevity in the sense that the majority of the readers that started reading it back in the day are still actually reading the webcomic when I update it. There should be an update soon for the webcomic as well. I just had to take a small little break after. It's been a heavy kind of 2022 to start with the passings of two colleagues. So it was kind of rough, and I also just started physical therapy on my knee as well, which also a small update on that. I will not be requiring surgery for my shoulders nor for my knee. The MRI results for my knee were negative. A couple of live streams ago, I talked about it that there was fear that there was a meniscus tear on my knee, and thankfully that came back negative. There's no structural damage. Everything looks fine. So the problem is that actually my kneecap is a little unstable, so it kind of moves a little bit back and forth. And that's what's been causing the inflammation and the pain and the need to lock up every now and again. Which I guess would make more sense than a meniscus tear because I was like, how did I even tear my meniscus? How is that possible? It can't be that I'm just doing the most random of stuff, grocery shopping, and my meniscus just goes. Like my kneecap being unstable actually makes a lot more sense because I do bang my knees a lot accidentally into corners and walls and doors and whatnot. And when I was younger, um, I didn't really use knee pads when I would play basketball and volleyball, which again, hindsight is 2020. I should have taken more care of myself when I would do sports back when I was younger. It does come around to get you eventually if you don't. So, if there's any younger viewers out there that are also into sports or involved with sports, start taking care of yourself early. If you need to wear some kind of protective gear or something, always make sure to do so, because you won't feel it in your 20s. You probably won't even feel it in your 30s, but once you're in your 40s, you are going to feel all that, especially if you got COVID. Like what I wasn't feeling it as much until I got COVID last year. That kind of like derailed and changed everything. I'm still actually kind of recovering my breathing from the whole COVID experience. And yeah, I'm not going to need surgery for either of those injuries, my knee or my shoulders. I just need to do a little bit more of physical therapy. But compared to the alternative, which could have been a lot worse and surgery could have been involved, and then the recovery time would have been even slower and a lot longer. I will gladly do physical therapy. I will gladly go back into the gym whenever I get the green light to go into the gym as well. So hopefully I'll be able to recover as quickly as possible. Before, when I would have an injury and I would go to physical therapy, I would go in there with like the mentality of like, I'm a beast, I'm going to recover. If they tell me it's going to take 12 weeks, I'm going to recover in 4 weeks. And I would. But again, time catches up with all of us. I've been told numerous times by my doctors and my physical therapist that I can't push myself because I'll just end up risking injuring myself more. So this time around, I am going to kind of take it at the pace that I should be doing it. So that's pretty much the update on that. And once again, the Cannon Girl Truthful Comics edition. You only see me with your eyes. This is issue number one. I will be doing a Truthful Comics edition for the second season as well. And since there is no other season after that one, there will be a new season eventually because a lot of people really, really seem to like the Cannon Girl, the remake, and not just a couple of the people that originally read it back in like 2008 ish when I first did the webcomic. There was a lot more new readers, and towards the end of the run online of this remake, quite a few people were actually even sharing the strip online on Facebook, which is always a great, great sign of things. So, if interest stays high, or at least high for what this is, I'll definitely keep doing more. Like I was saying before, I don't think I got to finish the thought. One of the reasons that I have been able to kind of keep my interest in doing something like Fred Peterson, The Mighty Warlord, and write stuff like Project New Wave for Manuel, and do stuff like Path and El Gran Matata for Jose Cruz and Silver Island Studio, and some other stuff that I'm going to be doing down the pipeline as well. Expect announcements soon for that too, which is very exciting. Is because I am able to like kind of play around and do things like this, things like Nevermind, Wepamani Wepito, Stupid the Cat. I always kind of keep that experimental side of me not repressed. I actually kind of just like do it, even if it's spur of the moment, spontaneous. I just have to do it because I have to get that creativity out of my system. It's almost like with YouTube also. My goal on YouTube isn't to like become like a professional YouTuber or even monetize the channel, to be honest. I see YouTube kind of like an extension of that creativity and where I can experiment in other ways with my creativity as well, like doing the 100 days of comics challenge videos. It was very challenging and very rewarding personally to do something like the long road to hell, which was different to the other 100 days of making comic videos that I've done in the past. Um, a lot more polished, I guess, a lot more refined, but at the same time, still raw enough to show the things that I've gone through, and maybe other creators have gone through as well when they're doing their own comics and whatnot. And again, this is the first time out of the like 7, 8 times that I've done the 100 days of making comic videos that I actually was able to record all 100 days. Because I didn't have that pressure of uploading a video every single day into YouTube or Facebook or doing a blog about it. I was able to just record throughout the days, and at the end of the week I'll just edit it all together with no pressure. And then after I finish recording all 100 days and editing all those shows, then I started uploading them, which if I do another 100 days videos, I think that's going to be the format going forward. Yes, kind of like recording all the days, putting this episode together, and then uploading it once I finish recording on 100 days and such. Whew. New comics, my friends. Oh, this is what I was saying earlier also. The price is $2. The cover kind of cut off a little bit where the price is, but at least the two is still there. So $2. It's in black and white. Again, I know that the online version is in color, but I want to do this as affordable as possible for people. It's, again, one of my favorite pages of the strip. I actually really like the cover for this one because you kind of like see her attitude there. Like she's very chill, but at the same time, she doesn't take any crap from anyone. Like you haven't seen that yet in these strips, but there will come a time, believe me, especially if people are interested in seeing more of Lizbeth and her friends and families and whatever thoughts and philosophies may appear in the strip. Anyway, I'm going to start wrapping this up. Thank you all so much for watching. Once these are available on Indie Planet, as well as Project New Wave number 3, I will let you guys know. Um, the Cannon Girl is actually already available at Comic House on the comic book streaming app, as well as Project New Wave number 3 also is available there. Warlord is going to be available there soon, and pretty much the entire Truthful catalog is going to be at Comic House. At least my end of it, because Manuel already has issues number 1 through 3 of Project New Wave over there. So the Comic House app is an indie alternative to Comixology or Amazon Kindle. You pay about $4.30 a month, something like that. It's £3 a month. It is based in the UK. You get access to thousands of indie comics, and you're able to stream it on your mobile device, electronic devices. It looks fantastic. I've read a couple of stuff there already, and as I showed in previous live streams, I also kind of read over Project New Wave and my own comic just to make sure that everything came out well and It just looks great on the tablet. I'm using an iPad right now, and it just looks absolutely stunning, especially Project New Wave. Manuel and Francisco Rivera, the colorist, they are just an outstanding art team, and it's so exciting to see when they're able to publish a new issue. Manuel right now is hard at work at the next issue. He has to also take his time because he's also been going through some physical stuff as well. I don't recall if I mentioned it before. I don't think I have. A couple of years ago, he had an accident on site of his day job, and just a few weeks ago, he actually had to go surgery to repair some of the damage he suffered at that workplace. So they had to do a surgery on his back and shoulders, right shoulder, I believe. So he is also on the mend as well. That's what happens as years go by, I suppose. But hopefully, it'll be a quick recovery for him too. I'll keep recovering at a good pace myself, hopefully as well, and uh, end the year strong with more comics being released. My goal is to have the Truthful Comics edition of Fred Peterson, The Mighty Warlord, out by the end of the year. The prologue, at least. The prologue and the webisodes, more than likely. In an ideal world, I would have issue number one done as well, but I don't want to push myself too hard because, as I said, I'm recovering myself also, and this time around, I am listening to the doctors and the professionals. First time for everything. I know, shocking. The Cannon Girl Truthful Comics Edition. You only see me with your eyes. Issue one. More information soon when it becomes available on Indie Planet. More information soon when I'm able to get more copies of this and Nevermind and Project New Wave to sell in comic book shops as well. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you next time. The weekend is creeping upon us, so I hope everyone has a great weekend if I don't see you before then.